This video is on the 144,000. This is their true ministry. Now, the 144,000 need to first understand who they are and that they've been chosen. They will have been chosen out from among the called. I talked about this in my last video, how to understand who the 144,000 are. They're probably isolated and in a wilderness place. They will be ministering to the Lord and listening to what is on his heart. And there's a reason for that, and I'll come to that now. The second thing to understand is what is the ministry of the 144,000? It's simple, really. From their wilderness place, they will deliver God's last message to the peoples of the earth, every nation, tribe, and tongue. They will have the same ministry as John the Baptist had, as a voice crying from the wilderness. Their message will be the same message as the proclamation of the three angels recorded in Revelation chapter 14. Now let me just explain here. Even though it is called the proclamation of the three angels, angels never preach the gospel. Angels are messengers. They bring messages to the people of earth, as recorded in many, many places in the Bible. But they cannot preach the gospel because they are not redeemed creatures. They cannot say, "Once I was lost and now I am found." Only redeemed humans can testify to the redemptive power of God in their lives. And only those Christians that have allowed God to purify them, to have allowed God to redeem them in the wilderness, will be able to preach this final message. They will be God's last witnesses to the world before God's wrath will purge the earth of the rebellious. This is one of the reasons also that this group of people is also known as the two witnesses. Now, it's called the three angels' proclamation because angels will teach and impart the message to the 144,000 for them to go on then and to deliver this message to the peoples, just as the angel gave John the message of the book of Revelation. God's wrath is coming to cleanse the earth before Christ comes back to rule over the nations. The ministry of the 144,000 is to deliver this last warning to the earth's people. Lives are at stake, and the 144,000 will be tested and proved in the fire of God's holy purification in order to make sure their message is pure and without deceit. Whether the people of the earth hear their message over the deafening sound of deception is up to the world. And this also includes those among God's people that prefer deception to the truth. There is an enormous amount of deception infiltrating what is being presented as God's word. The 144,000 will have to have the message of reconciliation clear and precise, and that takes spending many hours, days, months, and years alone with God, listening only to his voice. So what is the message? Now you can read the message as recorded in Revelations chapter 14, verses 14 to 16. Now, please note that the three angels' proclamation is recorded immediately after the 144,000 are described. They have already been sealed. This was stated in chapter 7 of Revelations. And they stand now with Christ. But more importantly, Christ stands with them, meaning that Christ has validated them. He is showing that they are genuine and true, and they speak for him. So the first angel's message is this: fear God, give him glory, and worship him, for he alone is the creator of all things. Have no other idols, for the hour of his judgment has now come. So the 144,000 will turn the hearts of the ones they are called to minister to back to a pure worship of God. They will discourage any other trappings. It will be God alone or die. They will be warning the people of God's approaching wrath, but offering a certainty of God's provision and protection in the midst of trials. Now, the second angel's message is this: Babylon has already been judged. God is simply giving time for the nations of the earth to hear the final message, and then destruction will come. Turn back to God while there is time. To wait until the tribulation starts will mean you will not have been sealed. The 144,000 are sealed before the four angels who are holding back the four winds of the earth release those winds. In the winds is the judgment of God. Now the third angel's message is: do not worship the beast, nor take his image. Do not receive his mark on your forehead or hand. The beast also has already been judged, and will drink of the wine of God's wrath, and shall be tormented before all of heaven with fire and brimstone. So when the wrath of God is poured out, that is when the beast will receive his judgment. Now, this has also been promised to those who choose to worship the beast and not God. They also shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. Those that receive the mark of the beast and take on his image will share in eternal torment and will never be able to rest from it. Now, that's the three messages. There is a huge amount of people speaking for God who are mixing truth with deception. How can a pure message be given if so much is being said in God's name is actually error? How can the 144,000 deliver the pure message if their message is immature? If one of the important parts of their message is, do not take on the image of the beast, but most people do not understand what the image of the beast means, how can they warn others correctly? Rather, many are causing many others to fall. So in the next video, I'm going to explain what it means to take on the image of the beast. Because if we take on the image of the beast, we will receive the mark of the beast, and that will mark us for God's wrath. We will not be protected when the four winds are released if we have the mark of the beast.